With your role as the creative director for this project, what exactly will you be doing?
I've been working on this project for about a year. So I conceptualized it based on something that 651 came up with initially. So they came up with the concept of Movement 63, which was the commemoration of the 50-year anniversary of major events that occurred in 1963 and throughout the civil rights movement. They came to me asking me to curate a production of protest songs. So they wanted me to put together a series of protest songs, and initially it was just with a small group of artists and musicians. It didn't have all the components that it has now, but I used my imagination and I thought about how I would want to see this story told, and I created it on the grandest scale I could.
Tonight's performance was a revelation. It truly was. It was a beautiful experience. It was part entertaining, part education, completely enlightening, completely empowering.
Of the movement. I was just willing to bear it all. I think everybody needed to know what had happened to Emmett Till.
A son they had killed, the tension and built, injustice and guilt. The young Emmett Till, who would tell the story of a boy. Hard to believe it. We know not our history, we better not repeat it.
When people saw what had happened to
the children of those with only prayers and patience. Alabama! She cries out.
But when you look back on it, my dear brother, you begin truly to see that this was an uproar that this country didn't know what to do with at some point.
Change gon' come. Oh, yes it will. It's been too.
For my culture, my generation, something for the soldiers, a little dedication. For the elders, all the trailblazers, it's for the babies, yeah, we gotta raise them. I do it for my culture, my generation, something for the soldiers, a little dedication. It's for the elders, all the trailblazers, it's for the babies, yeah, we gotta raise them.
See, 1963, black people have been terrorized, traumatized, and stigmatized for almost 360-something years. But there was a sense that American apartheid and American terrorism against black people was beginning to shake.
This nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red fields of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream.
So, based on your experiences, how do you feel about working with a project like this one?
This is like the culmination of everything I've done in my career so far. So I'm working with an orchestra. Really, for the first time in my career, I've worked with large bodies of musicians, but never an orchestra of this size. And I've never told a story in this way, using multimedia and music at the same time. So for me, this is like a milestone. You know, I've done film work before. You know, I've created my own short films. I've done music videos, you know, and I'm very interested in history and music. And this kind of allowed me to put everything together in one.
Okay, so based on your experiences, how are you deeply involved in the project? What are like your emotions toward the project?
My emotions towards this project. This project has been extremely emotional. It's been a very emotional experience for me because I'm tapping into the spirit of our ancestors' struggle. Many things that my parents, my grandparents, great-grandparents went through as people of African descent here in America. And being so close to the music, because the music, as always, like our art as people of African descent has always been an expression of our condition. So if we were doing well, our art and our music expressed that. If we weren't doing so well, you know, or dealing with some of the things we've dealt with here in America, our music and our art reflected that. And so I'm feeling those emotions come out in the music that I'm choosing and I'm curating, and I'm feeling or seeing the visuals. You know, we went and researched at the National Archive in DC, as well as at the Library of Congress and other places where they have video archives of what happened in the 60s and beyond and after. And to see some of the things that happened to our ancestors, to see dogs sicked on people, to see hoses, you know, pointed at folks, to see them beaten, shot, lynched, that has to have an impact on you. And to know that a lot of this only happened 50 years ago. This is the 50-year anniversary, so my parents are within that range. We know people who are still alive now who experience these things. So, you know, I'm really close to it. You know, and my whole life, my parents have taught me the value of knowing my history and understanding it from many different contexts. And so this has given me the opportunity to explore it, you know, in a way that's special to me, because it's through music and it's through art.
For my culture, my generation, something for the soldiers, a little dedication. For the elders, all the trailblazers. For the babies, we gotta raise them. Do it for the culture, my generation, something for the soldiers, a little dedication. For the elders, all the trailblazers. For the babies, we gotta raise them.
Some people even say from around the world to be here. They've come in numbers. A number of people have spoken from hundreds of organizations, and I still feel like things are unfinished, things are unsettled. You know, there's still some things up in the air. You know, the question of what do we do from here? Where do we go? What is next? You know, how are we going to really achieve, accomplish, or solve some of the issues that we're facing in 2013. Some folks that got up on the podium expressed the fact that even today, statistically, people of color are dealing with things in worse ways than we were in 1963 and 64. And so, you know, it's a puzzling situation. You know, while it seems that we've advanced in some ways, you know, in so many ways we may have even gone backwards. So I'm just trying to understand where things are and where I stand. What do I need to do? Being down here, I came just to feel the energy, you know, to be a part of a historic moment, because the first march was incredibly historic, and to understand what my role is going forward, you know, for my children and grandchildren, for the community in which I live. So much still to deal with.